I need to say this out loud before I lose the courage. What you're about to hear isn't a story I enjoy telling. It's not something I ever planned to turn into content. If I'm being honest, I've spent years trying to forget it ever happened. But forgetting hasn't worked. Because some places don't let you forget them. And some places remember you. This happened when I was 31 years old during the most forgettable year of my life. I had just gone through a breakup, my job had shifted to permanent night shifts, and I was barely speaking to anyone outside of work. I wasn't depressed exactly, just empty, existing on autopilot. That's why I didn't question the offer when it came. I should have. I really should have. The move. I found the listing on a local housing group. No fancy photos, no long description, just an address, rent price, and one sentence. Basement unit available, quiet tenants only. The rent was lower than anything else in the city. Not good deal low, wrong low. I messaged anyway. The reply came almost instantly. You can view it tonight, after 9 p.m. That should have been another red flag. But night shifts had already messed up my sense of normal, and I didn't question it. The building was old, older than the surrounding apartments. It stood slightly back from the road, as if it had been placed there before the rest of the city decided to grow around it. 4 floors above ground, 1 below. The entrance light flickered when I stepped inside. The man who showed me the unit didn't introduce himself. He just unlocked the basement door and gestured for me to follow. The stairwell smelled damp, not moldy, just cold, like air that never warmed up. The basement apartment itself was surprisingly spacious. Concrete walls painted white, 1 bedroom, small kitchen, bathroom tucked into the corner. No windows. I noticed that immediately. No windows, I asked. The man shrugged. Basement units don't need them. I laughed, assuming it was a joke. He didn't. Still, I signed the lease 2 days later. I told myself I didn't need sunlight. I worked nights anyway. That lie didn't last long. The silence. The first thing I noticed after moving in was how quiet the building was. Not peaceful quiet. Empty quiet. No TVs. No distant music, no muffled conversations through walls, just a low, constant hum like pressure in my ears. The silence felt intentional, like the building was holding it in. My first night there, I slept almost 12 hours straight. No dreams, no interruptions. It was the best sleep I'd had in months. That should have scared me more than it did. The second night, I woke up at exactly 2:11 a.m. I didn't know why. I just opened my eyes suddenly, fully awake. The ceiling above my bed looked darker than usual. Not shadowed. Darker. Like something was blocking the light that shouldn't have been there. I sat up. Nothing. The ceiling was normal again. I told myself it was exhaustion. I went back to sleep. The footsteps above me. Basement apartments come with a certain expectation. You hear people walking above you. But this was different. The footsteps didn't sound like they were coming from above. They sounded like they were coming from inside the ceiling. Slow, careful, deliberate. Like someone walking barefoot, trying not to make noise. I lay still, listening. The footsteps stopped directly above my bed. Then nothing. No creak of settling wood, no continuation. Just silence. I checked the time. 2:11 a.m. The same time as the night before. The first knock. 3 nights later, there was a knock at my door. I checked my phone. 2:11 a.m. The knock was soft, polite. I didn't answer. There was no reason for anyone to be knocking on a basement apartment door at that hour. The knock came again. Then a voice, muffled by the thick door. Maintenance. I stayed silent. The voice sighed. "I know you're awake." My stomach dropped. The footsteps returned above me that night. The rules. The next evening, I found a piece of paper slid under my door. It looked old, yellowed, folded neatly. On it were 5 rules, written in shaky handwriting. Do not answer the door after 2:00 a.m. If you hear footsteps above you, do not look at the ceiling. If you hear your name spoken from another room, do not respond. If the lights flicker, remain still until they stop. If Rule 5 appears, you have already stayed too long. There was no Rule 5 written. I laughed. I actually laughed. Someone in the building was messing with me. At least, that's what I told myself. I threw the paper away. That night, the lights flickered. I didn't move. The name. It took almost 2 weeks before the building said my name. I was sitting on the edge of my bed, scrolling through my phone when I heard it. Clear as day. My name. Spoken from the kitchen. The voice sounded like mine. Same tone, same rhythm, same breath between syllables. I froze. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. The voice spoke again. "You left the light on." I stared at the doorway. The kitchen light was off. I did not respond. The footsteps began immediately after. The tenant upstairs. I finally met another tenant by accident. It happened in the stairwell when I was heading out for work. A man in his late 40s was coming down as I was going up. He stopped when he saw me. His eyes widened slightly. "You're in the basement," he said. It wasn't a question. "Yeah," I replied, "just moved in." He hesitated, then leaned closer. "Has it started using your voice yet?" My blood ran cold. "What?" He straightened up immediately. "Never mind," he said quickly. "Forget I said anything." He hurried up the stairs and disappeared. I never saw him again. The missing time. One morning, I woke up on my kitchen floor. I didn't remember falling asleep there. My phone showed I had missed 12 calls from work. The last message was from my manager. "If you don't show up tonight, we're letting you go." I checked the time. 2:11 a.m. My phone battery was at 3%. In my call log was an outgoing call. To myself. The door that wasn't there before. A new door appeared in the back wall of my apartment. I know how that sounds. I know it sounds impossible. But it wasn't there when I moved in. It was a narrow metal door, flush with the wall, painted the same white as everything else. No handle. Just a keyhole. The paper with the rules was back on my table. A new line had been added at the bottom. 5. Do not open the door it gives you. The lights flickered. I stayed still. The voice gets better. The building learned quickly. It learned my habits, my schedule, the way I spoke. Soon, it wasn't just mimicking my voice. It was improving it. It sounded calmer than me, more confident, more alive. Sometimes I'd hear it practicing, repeating my name over and over, adjusting the tone slightly each time, like it was rehearsing. I stopped sleeping. I stopped going to work. I stopped answering my phone. The only thing I did was sit on my bed and listen. The night I answered, I don't remember deciding to do it. I just remember the knock. 2:11 a.m. Maintenance, the voice said. My voice. Perfectly. I stood up, walked to the door, put my hand on the handle, and spoke. Yes. The hallway went silent. Then the voice replied, inches from my face on the other side of the door. Thank you. The handle turned. The space between walls. I don't know how long I was gone. Time didn't exist where it took me. There were no rooms, no corners, just narrow spaces between concrete and darkness, filled with whispers that sounded like old tenants learning how to speak again. I saw faces pressed into walls. I heard names being practiced. And somewhere behind me, something was wearing my voice perfectly. When I woke up, I was lying in my bed. The door in the back wall was gone. So was the paper. So was the silence. The building was empty. Aftermath. The building was demolished 6 months later. Official reports say it was abandoned. No records of tenants. No basement unit listed. No landlord. Just an empty space where something once lived. I moved to another city. I live on the top floor now. No one above me. But sometimes at 2:11 a.m. I hear footsteps. Not above. Below. And a voice from my kitchen practicing my name. Slowly. Carefully. Getting it right.